Hi, and welcome to Lois and Morgana Davidson Art. It's Lois here, and today I'm continuing with my ongoing series looking at a brief sort of history of the origins of various watercolour paints that we use. And today I'm going to be looking at one of my favourite colours, which is sepia. Now, sepia is one of those colours that we don't use it in the original form in which it was discovered and originally used. We use mixtures of other pigments that have been made to create sepia, that same sort of colour. Sepia originates from the ink sac of a cuttlefish. And it was used for ink and has been used in ink making for centuries. I think it became useful and used for what they call wash drawings, a bit like line and wash, I suppose, by Botticelli and Leonardo da Vinci during the Renaissance, where thin washes of sepia were washed over pencil or ink drawings. And it grew in popularity over the years and then became especially useful for map makers in I think, the 18th century, who used thin washes of sepia to start off their map making process, building up thin washes and introducing colour. So today I'm sure you can probably still get watercolour paint made from the cuttlefish, but these days it's more likely to be made from a mixture of different pigments. These are the four I'll be trying. So from left to right, the Cotman Student Quality Paint, which is made from a mixture of PBR7 and PBK7, which is natural brown iron oxide and carbon black. And then next comes the Jackson's Artist Quality Paint, Artist Watercolour, and that's made from the same PBR7 and PBK7, natural brown iron oxide and carbon black. Moving on to Winsor & Newton's Artist Quality Paint, their professional range, is PBK6 and PR101. That's lamp black and synthetic red iron oxide, so completely different from the other two. And then finally, the last one is by Holbein, and that uses the same natural brown iron oxide, PBR7, and lamp black, the same as Winsor & Newton, PBK6. So all of them are made from a brown and a black, except for the Winsor & Newton, which is made from a black and a red. So I'll just swatch them all out in the same order that I've just discussed them, and I'll speed it up because the swatching process can be a little bit dull, but I shall swatch them out starting at the darkest value I can get, becoming lighter, and then doing a washy swatch at the bottom of each one so that we can see how the paint looks when it's sort of washed out on the page. So that's all 4 paints swatched out. I'll leave them to dry completely, and then once they're dry we'll have a little look at them. And of course I forgot to say that most people know sepia pigment because it was used extensively in the photography industry to tint black and white photographs. And we think of that lovely vintage retro range of sort of brown tones and things on old-fashioned sepia photographs. So I'll now leave them to dry completely, and then we can take a closer look and see how they compare. So here are the dried swatches, and they've dried in quite an interesting way. The Cotman on the far left is student quality, and obviously as such probably a lower pigment load, but it stands up quite nicely. But the Cotman and the Jacksons next to it seem to be a lot warmer than the other two, if you see what I mean. They're sort of a redder brown, whereas the Winsor & Newton, which actually includes the red pigment, the PR101, isn't as red. It's a much cooler, sort of blacker brown, if you see what I mean. The Jackson, second in from the left, is the warmest of the 3 artist quality ones, and by warmest, as I say, I mean that slightly redder tinge to it. Whereas the Winsor & Newton and the Holbein on the right, they have that kind of sort of neutral look that I was thinking, or that I prefer from my sepia. And I really like the strength of dark blackish brown that we have there in those two. But of course the warmer two on the left are beautiful colours as well. So they're quite different, but it depends what style of sepia you prefer. If you like that warmer style of sepia, then I would recommend either the Cotman, or if you want an artist quality, the Jacksons. But either of the other two, the Winsor & Newton or the Holbein, produce a really beautiful, quite neutral sepia. And I think I'd be interested in using sepia as a neutraliser or a neutral colour and see how it tones down other colours. But that will be maybe for another experiment on another day. So I hope you enjoyed this colour swatching episode looking at sepia. If you're interested in looking at more videos about colour swatching, then please check out the playlist on our channel. And please leave us a like if you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think, and if you've got a favourite brand of sepia. The only reason I use these 4 is because, of course, they are the ones that I have. But I'd love to know if you have any preferences for sepia brands yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much to everyone that supports this channel on Patreon. I'll see you again soon. Take care and happy painting. Bye.